Following the introduction of the Mark III Escort in 1980, Ford Motorsport set about developing a rear-wheel drive turbocharged variant of the vehicle that would be entered into competition in Group B rally racing, and dubbed the new vehicle the Escort RS 1700T. A problem-filled development led Ford to abandon the project in frustration in 1983, leaving them without a new vehicle to enter into Group B. Not wanting to abandon Group B or simply write off the cost of developing the failed 1700T, executives decided to make use of the lessons learnt developing that vehicle in preparing a new purpose-built rally car. In addition, Ford executives became adamant that the new vehicle would feature all-wheel drive, an addition they felt would be necessary to allow it to compete properly with all-wheel drive models from Peugeot and Audi. The new vehicle was a unique design, featuring a plastic fiberglass composite body designed by Ghia, a mid-mounted engine and four-wheel drive. The cars were built on behalf of Ford by another company well known for its expertise in producing fiberglass bodies, Reliant, the people that made the Reliant Robin. To aid weight distribution, designers mounted the transmission at the front of the car, which required that power from the mid-mounted engine go first up to the front wheels and then be run back again to the rear, creating a complex drivetrain setup. The chassis was designed by former Formula One designer Tony Southgate, and Ford's John Wheeler, a former F1 engineer, aided in early development. A double wishbone suspension setup with twin dampers on all four wheels aided handling and helped give the car what was often regarded as being the best balanced platform of any of the RS200's contemporary competitors. The Ford parts bin was raided to give the RS200 a Ford corporate look. For example, the front windscreen and rear lights were identical to those on the early Sierra, and the doors were cut down Sierra items. Those small parts bin items like switchgear were also used to save development time and expenses. Power came from a 1.8 litre, 250 horsepower turbocharged Cosworth unit in road-going trim, and between 350 and 450 horsepower in racing trim. Upgrade kits were available for road-going versions to boost power output to over 300 horsepower. Although the RS had the balance and poise necessary to be competitive, its power-to-weight ratio was poor by comparison, and its engine produced notorious low RPM lag, making it difficult to drive and ultimately less competitive. Third place at the 1986 WRC Rally of Sweden was the best ever finish in Group B rallying, although the model saw limited success elsewhere. However, only one event later, at the Rally de Portugal, a Ford RS200 was involved in one of the most dramatic accidents in WRC history, claiming the lives of 3 spectators and injuring many others. Another Ford RS200 was crashed by Swiss Formula One driver Marc Surer against a tree during the 1986 Hessen Rally in Germany, killing his co-driver and friend Michael Weider instantly. The accident at Rally Portugal set off a chain reaction, and the RS200 became obsolete after only 1 full year of competition, as the FIA abolished Group B after 1986. For 1987, Ford had planned to introduce a more powerful 2.1 litre Evolution variant of the RS200, and upgraded brakes and suspension components were part of the package as well. Power figures for the engine vary from 550 horsepower to 815 horsepower, although most typical output was 580 horsepower at 8,000 RPM. It's been said that the most powerful Evolution models could accelerate to 60 miles an hour in just over 2 seconds, depending on gearing. The ban on Group B racing effectively ended this new model. However, more than a dozen of them were successfully run from 1986 to 1992 in the FIA European Championships for Rallycross drivers events all over Europe. A Norwegian, Martin Sancher, claimed the 1991 European Rallycross title with a Ford RS200 E2 that produced over 650 horsepower. The RS200 was designed from the ground up as a purpose-built mid-engine rally supercar, and the 200 homologation road legal models were essentially a byproduct of Ford wanting to race the RS200 and show off their technology capabilities in the increasingly popular World Rally Championship. It was also designed by engineers who had extensive backgrounds in motorsports, and the engine had a smooth power delivery and functioned more like a race car engine. Ford's marketing team generated some publicity by loaning an RS200 to the Essex Police Force. 30 years on, they recreated the photo opportunity as they were testing out the Ford Focus RS for the same purpose. Ford constructed the 200 road legal models with spare parts for another 20 plus units put aside for the racing teams. Those chassis and spare parts were later also used to build a couple of non-genuine so-called Bitzer cars, and 24 of the original 200 cars were reportedly later converted to Evolution models. The original bodywork tooling for the Ford RS200 was later bought by Banham Conversions, who used it to make a kit car version based on the Austin Maestro. Due to being a basic rebody of the Maestro, the Austin Rover engine ancillaries are actually to be found at the front of the vehicle. A big thank you to all my patrons for supporting me. To get early advert-free access to new videos or to appear in the credits, please consider supporting me using the Patreon link below from just $1 or 80p a month, and hit that subscribe button to get notified of new videos. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.